Hey there, Father Michael here. One of the pious little sayings that people say all the time, and that I have heard a million times, and it always annoys me, is this little saying: God never sends us more than we can handle. Ugh, really? It seems to me that there are two falsehoods built into this pietistic little falsehood. Falsehoods built into the bigger lie. And the first falsehood is that everything that happens to us in this life is somehow God's doing, that God is somehow singling us out for special punishments or diminishments or challenges, as if there's a God up in the clouds somewhere who says to some of us, "Oh, you look like you need to lose a child." Or, "Oh, you look like you need to be involved in an armed robbery and get shot up." Or, "You need to get to have a spouse who cheats on you and a daughter who is freebasing cocaine in her bedroom when you're asleep." Come on now. That's the first clause of that pious little saying is clearly false, because that is not how God works. It's not how life works. Stuff is not being sent our way in that understanding. The second part of that little saying, God never sends us more than we can handle. The more than we can handle part is clearly demonstrably false, because look around you. People get overwhelmed and they fail all the time. Life does, in fact, sometimes give us more than we can handle. People have mental breakdowns. People get Alzheimer's, and they not only lose their life, ultimately, when major systems in the body shut down, but they lose their identity bit by bit along the way. People get cancer and MS and ALS and AIDS, at least in other places, not North America, and people die. Other times, mental health issues cause people to complete suicide or cut loose with an automatic weapon at a school or in their workplace. In other words, sometimes we experience more than we can handle, and we lose the battle one way or another. So if you're one of those people who says God only sends us, what we can handle, please stop saying that. Because there is no God who is picking who gets the diseases and who doesn't. We are all literally waiting for the day when something is going to be more than we can handle, and we're going to die. That's the way it is. In Matthew chapter 8, there's that story of Jesus calming the storm. Chapter 8, verse 24. Suddenly a storm came up on the lake, and the waves started sweeping over the boat, but Jesus was sleeping. To be clear, it had to have been a lovely day when Jesus and the disciples decided to go out onto the lake in their boat. The water had been calm in the beginning, but then, just like life, an unexpected squall came up, and now their little boat is rocking and starting to take on water. And of course, the disciples are terrified and they are quick to run to Jesus to do something, save us, get up. We're going to capsize and drown. Come on, dude. And while all this is happening, Jesus is supposedly sound asleep. Well, we can all relate to that. I think we all feel that way sometimes, like Jesus is asleep while our little boat is being tossed about on the waves. And we're crying out to Jesus saying, I'm not going to make it this time. You got to do something. In Matthew's telling of the story, of course, Jesus does wake up. Jesus tells the waves and the wind what to do, and everything is once again calm and peaceful. That is, in fact, what God does for you and me all the time. Sometimes life is so overwhelming and there doesn't appear to be any relief in sight for what we're going through. But we are sent an insight. We're given a creative idea or a thought that sustains us, some kind of an answer, some kind of a message of hope that even if the circumstances don't turn out the way we want, we're still going to survive and be okay. Sometimes God, in fact, calms the circumstances that are swirling around us. But more often than not, at least in my experience, God calms us. God calms us. Life is random and chaotic and unpredictable. And in an ever-evolving universe, which has been going on for 14 billion years, there are going to be bumps in the road. There are going to be tragedies and losses and a host of other negative things. But that doesn't mean that the chaos has the last word. We have Jesus in our boat, in other words. And even on those days and nights when it seems like he is sound asleep, completely oblivious to what's going on, in fact, maybe he's doing something that we can't perceive that is going to bring us a sense of calm and security. Life is hard. I don't need to tell you that. You already know. Life is random. Life hurts. But sometimes the right person comes along and says the right thing, and a little light bulb goes off, and we see a way forward. And we know 100% that we're going to be okay. We may not be able to see exactly how this is going to work out, whatever our circumstances are, but we know that God has us. It's going to be okay. Pray with me, please. Loving, sustaining God, we come into your presence on this warm summer morning. Many of us waiting for evidence of your love and sustenance. Help us today not to look beyond our circumstances, but rather to look in our circumstances for evidence of your grace, for evidence of your promise to be with us always, in life and in death. And if we are feeling that our small boat is about to capsize, calm the waters of our hearts and souls and help us as best we can to choose calm over chaos, to choose order over randomness, to choose life over death. Amen. Have a great Sunday.